Anti Mod Soldier here, and I am back to talk about House of the Dragon, Season 1, Episode 10, and my thoughts on this episode. Start off with, I'm fighting a cold right now, so this ain't going to be a full review or full breakdown. I'm just going to highlight bits I liked, and yeah, sorry guys. I'll give you my impressions, that's it. Can't do a full one today. But this episode was good. 10 times, well, not 10 times, I would say a lot better than last week's episode. I didn't like the Rainey stuff because they've changed her character, unfortunately, a bit. And yeah, I think this episode is better because it was more focused. We didn't have ridiculous, I'm a woman scene in this episode. We just had Rhaenyra being Rhaenyra. Things I didn't like. I don't like what they're doing with Rhaenyra. The fact that she is so hesitant to do certain things. Definitely not what she's like in the book. Again, that's like Alicent from last episode. These two wanted to kill each other. They hated each other. And to have this... Well, I'll go into that in spoilers, but I just didn't... Again, they should be at war already. But I love the ending to this episode. I wasn't surprised because, again, I've read the books. But I do like what they've done with a certain character on if he meant to kill somebody, which I think is interesting. Overall, good story. I loved Daemon as well in this episode. Favorite scene has to be the ending scene. But yeah, it's a great episode. I'll give it a 8 out of 10. It was it's up there as one of the best episodes. But I think for me the best episode has to be episode 8. That still stands out as the best to me. So let's get into spoilers now. If you don't want to hear spoilers, leave in 3, 2, 1. So as you know, I'm just going to highlight the parts I liked, and that's all I'm going to do today. I'll probably try and do this review again some other time. So the parts I'm going to highlight is Rhaenyra, and how she's acting a lot differently in the show than she is from the books. Because in the books, Rhaenyra, when she finds out Alicent has put her son on the throne, there's no, messing around with, are we going to go to war with the Greens? No, she's all out for war straight away. In this episode, though, they have Rhaenyra literally hesitating all the way through. And I get it. She probably doesn't want to go to war because it's going to get a lot of people killed. But she's been waiting for that fucking throne for fucking years. And Alicent has just taken it away from her. I mean, I would have preferred it if Rhaenyra was at least saying that we need to start getting ready for war at the beginning, instead of just waiting to the middle of the episode to say that. I would have liked to have been a lot more eager as well. And I also think there's another one problem with this episode. We don't get the Greens' reaction to the start of the war, which I do think is kind of a problem. I like the fact we had the Green episode and the Black episode, but we needed for this episode the Greens and the Blacks' reaction to the start of the war. That would have been a good decision, in my opinion. But again, Rhaenyra, still good actress. I still liked her in this episode, and I love the fact she eventually does get to the point where she's like, it's all out war now, there's no going back. I did like that. Daemon, he's great in this episode, as he always is with Matt Smith. I did love the scene when he's teaching Jake, or Jackon, or whatever, about loyalty with the King's Guard, or the Queen's Guard now. And I also love the scene between him and Rhaenyra, when Rhaenyra tells him about the Song of Ice and Fire. And in this scene you can pretty much see that Damien pretty much learns that his brother never intended for him to be his heir, because he never told him about Song of Ice and Fire. So that's a massive blow to Daemon in this episode. I also like the fact that he's jumped to the conclusion that the Greens have assassinated Viserys, and he wants payback. And Daemon loved his brother. He loves his entire family. He just wishes his brother had been a bit more better as a king. I mean, we all know he's a great king, but Daemon, he wants to be like, he wants him to be the dragon. He wants him to start wars and conquer and all that stuff. And Rhaenyra never wanted that. I mean, Viserys never wanted that. Another problem with this episode is Rhaenys and not, answering about the killing of all the innocent people in the dragon pit. I think that's a mistake. You can't have this just be like, oh, they're poor people, who gives a shit? You've just killed entire families. You've damaged so many people in King's Landing. This would reverberate around the, Seven Kingdoms. And this could be a rallying cry for the poor people to go for the king and not the queen. So, yeah, I would say that should have gotten a much, much better response in this episode than it did. Hopefully next season they will do that, because it looks like these writers are actually listening to the fans and they don't want to take the piss right now. Because again, they're on a high right now. More and more people are getting back into Game of Thrones. More and more people are, seeing that this show isn't woke. It's not a fucking disaster. And it looks like these people writing it and HBO understand that they need to make sure the fans are happy. So I don't think a lot of these problems that I have are going to be around for much longer. We also find out about Rhaenyra's. We also find out about Lord Corlys. He's all right. He's just walking around with a stick now. He's taking over the Stepstones for Seven Kingdoms. He's also done what everybody should have done the last time they took over the Stepstones, and he's left a garrison there. And in this episode, you pretty much see that they're going to start the blockade of King's Landing, and this is a serious problem for King's Landing because they need those trade routes. And again, Corlys has always worn the crown that is a massive weakness of the Seven Kingdoms, the Stepstones, and the fact that nobody has ever tried to put a garrison there until now it really is just ridiculous. But I didn't like one thing about Corlys in this episode. I didn't like the fact that he wanted to give up on the throne and just go home. That is not Corlys Velaryon. And when he finds out about his brother dying, in the book it's his nephew, so maybe you can kind of say maybe he didn't give a shit. But his brother, come on. If you have brothers, you don't really let someone kill him and get away with it. So I think that's a problem in this episode. And the fact that he wanted to quit, whereas Rhaenys has just apparently decided to join Rhaenyra's war against the Greens. I kind of think she's been kind of holding a lot of this back. She's been kind of trying to keep the Velaryons out of this war, and just all of a sudden turns on a dime and joins Rhaenyra because she's apparently trying to keep the Seven Kingdoms from going to a civil war. I don't really like that. Rhaenys is a lot different from the book, and I prefer the one from the book to the one we have on TV. So let's get on to the final part of the episode now, unless there's something I'm missing. Yeah, let's get to the final now. Final is pretty much Luke going to Storm's End to get the Baratheons to bend the knee to Rhaenyra, his mother. When he gets there, he sees Vhagar, and he knows that Aemond is there. When he gets into Storm's End, he speaks to Lord Baratheon. He hands him a scroll from his mother, asking for his allegiance to a cause against the Greens, basically. And Lord Baratheon is pretty pissed off because they've come with nothing except waiting for him to just accept his the fact his father agreed to respect Rhaenyra as the queen, or his oath. But you got to remember, this is the South, this is not the North. Southerners don't really give a shit about oaths. Yes, the Starks will probably stick to theirs, maybe if they're doing something, I don't know with that. But yeah, Rhaenyra needed to make an offer here. She should have had a marriage proposal or something. So it was pretty dumb to just send him over and hoping that a lord who turns out to be illiterate, because he gets his maester to read the scroll instead of him. She should have gone there with some sort of treaty or some sort of gift or something to get him on her side. Because Aemond, he's just done it. He's just pretty much married one of his daughters, and he's pretty much got the Baratheons on his side now. But then Aemond also wants to take out Luke's eye. He tries to order him to do it himself. Luke to do it himself. And then Aemond tries to, go at him. But Lord Baratheon stops him. We also then see the best moment, I think, of Aemond, which is taking off his eye patch to reveal the sapphire that he put into it. Problem with this for me, he then puts the eye patch back on. Leave the eye patch off. We want to see the fucking, we want to see the eye that he's put in there, the sapphire. That's interesting. I don't get why he'd just put his eye patch back on. He's put a fucking diamond in his eye. So Liam runs to his dragon, escorted by Baratheon soldiers. He flies off, and then Aemond chases him down with Vhagar. In the fight, you pretty much see that both these two have not got full control of their dragons, because when their dragons get close to each other, they start to attack each other, and they shouldn't do that, because if the dragon is attacked, it's going to fight back. So Liam tries to escape Vhagar and Aemond. He tries to fly as high as he can away from Vhagar, but Vhagar then comes out of nowhere and kills Luke and his dragon. And you can just see Aemond is there, and he's pretty shocked because it was never supposed to go this far. It was supposed to be him scaring him, or him pretty much just taking out his eye. He knows that killing Luke means there's war, and it's not going to change. And it's not going to be stopped now. The House of the Dragon is now in a civil war. And the last scene of the episode is you see Rhaenyra get the news about Luke, and the fact you see that now she is determined to make the Greens pay for the death of her son, which I pretty much loved. Again, that's the Rhaenyra I wanted to see, the one who's going to start burning cities, burning villages, killing innocent people. This is the Rhaenyra I wanted. And that's the end of my review. It's a 8 out of 10 for me. It's a good episode. It's up there with the best episodes. I can't wait for season 2 of the House of the Dragon. This is just amazing. It's great to have Game of Thrones back. And I think overall this season has shown that HBO can actually do something right. And they can actually make a season without being fully woke or fully annoying about it. And shows that Dan and Dave should have been fired a long time ago from Game of Thrones, and maybe Game of Thrones wouldn't still be in the shit. I know a lot of people are going back to it, but there is still season 8. If HBO was smart, they would just redo season 8. It wouldn't take that long. Most of the actors will probably come back. Just do it, HBO. Just do it and get over it. You'll probably make more money from doing that anyway. But anyway, that's the end of my video. If you like this video, give it a like. If you dislike this video, give it a dislike. And if you like my content, do think of subscribing. Entertainment Soldier. Bye.